Welcome to the 1000 Club podcast, where we believe that behind every woman there's a tribe chanting, yes! We call our tribe the 1000 Club, and every other Thursday we invite you into our VIP section to chat, console, shoot the breeze, or inform. Find us everywhere, including Apple, Spotify, YouTube, and Facebook. And remember to follow us on all socials at 1000 Club.
Hey y'all, we are back and we are recapping episode 3 of Harlem on Amazon Prime. Make sure you go back and check out our recaps of episode 1 and 2. So, episode 3 is Rainbow Sprinkles, and the episode starts off with Camille saying perceptions are often played with to enhance or hide certain realities. So, already I kind of get from the episode title and from this quote that perceptions are probably going to be enhanced to hide what the characters are really feeling or really what their fears are, what their emotions are. And that's pretty much how the episode goes. Everything is going pretty well, except for in the beginning. Camille is a wreck because we just saw she was confronted and hit with so much in episode 2 with Robin, her mentor, getting suspended and not knowing like the status of her getting tenure, and then confronting Ian and finding out he was engaged after she pretty much put herself out there and was like, let's try again. So, as her girls did, as her tribe did, they showed up and they was like, Camille, come on, you got to get it together. Let's go out. And she was very much like grieving. Like she's sitting there eating her ice cream. Like she is fine with being in the bed, but they're like, no, we're not doing this. Like you got to get up and go. And so we see them go out to this black magic show, which at first I was like, oh, okay, this is cute, like black girl magic. And then it took a turn for the worst. So that was interesting. That was funny. But at this Black Girl Magic show, where they finally get Camille out the house, we find out Quinn has a new potential app boo, Daniel, who the rest of the ladies are calling a catfish because she hasn't seen yet. She ain't did no FaceTiming. She hasn't met him in person. So that's that. Ty has her Forbes interview coming up, which Angie keeps like, she seemed like she low-key hating, but Ty has that going on. Later on in the episode, Angie has an Uber boo, Emmanuel, and they like really vibing and like really connecting. He's a fellow artist and she feels like they get each other. He gets her. So everybody's doing really well. Even Camille, she finds out that who's going to replace Robin will be Dr. Pruitt, who is the one of the greatest, Miss Whoopi Goldberg.
Yes, you got yourself.
Yes. So we find out that she is going to be replacing Robin, and she seems like she's excited because she got a sister that she's going to be working with. She has another Black woman. So everything is on the up and up, right? Just like the episode title is Rainbow Sprinkles. But perception, it can be deceptive. So, starting with, I'm going to start with Ty and then end with Camille. So Ty, she ends up having like this one night stand. I believe it's this episode, hopefully, with this white woman. I can't remember her name.
The beef and broccoli girl.
Yeah,
her name is Anna.
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 Oh,
okay, Anna. So
I like broccoli for now. That's fine. Beef and broccoli this episode, so.
So she ends up having this one night stand, and of course, you know, all episodes Ty is talking about her Forbes interview, which is a major thing. She got this like 2-page spread, but turns out her interviewer is her one night stand, and her interviewer off the record confronts her about whether she would date a non-person of color or is a non-person of color just good enough to sleep with? And it was really interesting because, you know, Ty likes to be in control. She's like, you know, this boss bee who totally gets thrown off of her game by Beef and Broccoli's question. And she throws it back to her like she has this app that is for queer people of color. And Ty makes a good point. Like, all these other apps cater to you. They cater to white people. And so she created an app to fill a void specifically for queer people of color. But then you got Beef and Broccoli question her about it. But then Beef and Broccoli, she's like, well, she asked her if she's into interracial dating. Ty's like, yeah. And then she's like, but you're not interested in a relationship with a non-POC. And Ty was like, not at this time. And then that's when she's like, so yeah, you sleep with me, but you don't want to date me. It's almost like you're fetishizing it. So that was really interesting. What did y'all think about that whole exchange?
I thought she was 100% right.
Who, Beef and Broccoli?
Anna, yeah, because I was very surprised for Ty. To me, if you were really about that life, you wouldn't even invite the energy into your space. So the fact that, if you remember at the club, she sought Anna out. She said, that's that. You know what I mean? And I don't know if she had perceptions of stereotypical, you know, white women or whatever, that she was going to be fast or whatever. But to me, it's like, you already knew what you was attracted to, you know, because I'm attracted to men, but I'm mostly attracted to Black men. But at the same time, if, you know, Channing Tatum walked up in here, you know what I mean? Like, I might give a Channing Tatum a chance because there's already the attraction. I'm already inviting that energy. So I feel like she was completely right about that. And I feel like it was good for her to be challenged, on that. I also feel like Ty was right, though, also, you know, in terms of her understanding her place as a person who created something like this, because people will look at her like that.
Yeah,
I agree. I thought Anna was spot on. I think it was also interesting how they brought in that that perception, not perception, I can't think of the word, but how they brought that into the episode. Like, she's very much talking about, you know, this group of people, Black people need this app. Black LGBTQAI people need this app. And then having an attraction to someone who doesn't fit what you're talking about. And a lot of times, you know, we've seen that in history with a lot of big, you know, activists and stuff like that. And we see like they're talking about all of these things, but then their personal life looks different. So I thought it was interesting that they brought that into that. But I did agree with Anna. It was kind of like, oh, well, you know, I'm good enough for this, but not for that. Either you're with it or you're not. So like, you either talk about it or be about it. So I agree with that.
Yeah. So that's going on with Ty. And then we have Quinn. I think the highlight of this episode was that, you know, she has Daniel and she finally sees him on FaceTime. She proves that he's not a catfish. And he asked her out on a date. And so she's all excited. She like, you know, trying on her outfits, her makeup. Is it giving future CEO wife or future basketball like wife? So she's all excited because she's going to meet her app boo. And so when she gets there, she finds out that it's really a sales presentation for a pyramid scheme. So her perception of like Daniel, I think maybe Daniel was like an attorney or something. I don't remember, but he had this good job and she's thinking like, oh, he's got money. Like, this is really promising.
Taking her out to lobster, girl.
Yeah, she's going for lobster that she's allergic to. But we know Quinn, she's so desperate to like find love and get married that she's just willing to do whatever. And indeed, she does go, and she is at the sales presentation with lobster rolls.
I was like cracking up at that part when I saw all the other women, and the girl leans over and she's like, "Is the date after this?"
Right. I was like, oh, like it's messed up, but I was like, oh, that is smart. Oh, but anyway.
You know what? That reminded me, that whole scene reminds me of how, like, on dating apps, I find this as, a plus size woman on there, is that there are a lot of fitness trainers that will get on there, and because they have a nice body and all that, they will actually like hit you up and make you think like, oh, they think that you're just going to be so interested in them because they look good, only because they're trying to recruit you to be one of their fitness clients. So that's actually what that reminded me of, because that happens a lot, which is why I always, anybody that looks like they're athletic, I swipe on them. Like, I'm not even entertaining that, because I know, like I said, I know quite a few women that get caught up, and then they they're at this fitness thing and the guy is flirting with them, knowing dang on well that he really doesn't want them. He just wants the money, but he's going to continue to do what he needs to do.
Yeah.
To have the payment, and you're going to continue to pay for the attention. So that is what that reminded me of.
Yeah, I felt bad for Quinn because it's like, once again, she has this like horrible dating experience on an app, and then it's just another date where she's like, I'm not getting closer to my dream. So that's that. For Angie, she has her Uber boo. They have this really good ride, Emmanuel. And at one
At
point,
whole time.
Yes, yeah, at his expense.
And
Quinn's
expense.
Oh, at Quinn's expense. Oh, yes, because that's the episode where her Uber account gets deactivated, because initially Angie didn't get his number, but Quinn did encourage her. She's like, you got to go out there, you got to find him. So she
gave her a different scenario. She gave him a whole different scenario. She didn't say that he was an Uber driver.
Yeah, no. She was deceiving because she said that he was a train driver.
Mm-hmm.
But she's requesting rides, canceling so she can find Emmanuel, and she doesn't. But at the end of towards the end of the episode, he ends up delivering her Postmates for Quinn. And, they have a little rendezvous, but then she finds out he lives in his car, and then she's like, oh, nah, like this.
But girl, you live with your friend, like.
Girl, that's exactly how
she don't even have a car.
This is the classic case of a nickel looking for a dime, right? I think, and seriously, like, I do believe that women, we are deserving. Everyone is deserving just because you're alive. But you really do have to take a look at where you are in life and see like what it is that you really bring, and if you really can bring what you're asking for. Like, I go back to an episode that we did with mumbo sauce. Mumbo sauce and chicken. Yeah. What's it called? What's the whole name?
I think it's mumbo
sauce on everything.
On everything, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And we had Darian, and I forget the other host's name now, but Reggie, yes, Darian and Reggie. And one of the things Darian said when we were talking about high value men, and we were talking about Kevin Samuels, he said, sometimes it's not even just about the money someone makes, it's about the disposable income. And that really hit me, because I was like, yeah, because you could meet someone who might make less than 6 figures, right? But if they don't have student loans, that are taking $500, at least over $500 of my income a month, then they are essentially might be in a better financial situation than you are. You know what I mean? So it's all about thinking those things. But you have nothing, boo.
That's not even your Uber account, sis.
Yeah. And when you think about like Tyler Perry and a lot of these other people who've been successful in that business, a lot of them have stories of living in their car. Because that's what you do when you really believe in your dream and you hustle. You'll sleep on floors. We know people that have slept on floors.
Right. I mean, talking about perception, hers is totally skewed as we know it. But in her meeting him, that's the moment where she was like, oh, I got to Get Out, because I can't be living like this, even though she got to get out. But
the
that
irony.
is the moment where she's like, all right, like I need to do that. So it brought her to that realization. But no, like you were saying, like she didn't even have nothing to bring to the table. At least he had the car. At least he was doing Uber. And she was too, she would probably say herself, like, I'm too good to drive Uber when she ain't on a
He
car.
was too good to do the hotel gig.
Yeah. So I guess that moment with him in the car and finding out that his home was his car was like a self-realization for her. And she gonna be in Get Out, the Broadway musical.
Yeah, that's what you need to be, girl. Getting a check.
That's what you need to do. Get out and get a check.
And I like with Quinn and Angie. Quinn was calling it a meet cute, like a Kate Hudson movie thing. I don't know, like a rom-com movie thing. I was like, what's a meet cute? Have y'all ever heard that before?
Wait, when did she? What was she referring to when she said that?
She was calling it like, this, like, I guess meeting Emmanuel and like that whole like not getting his number and finding him, like a rom-com type thing, but she called it meet cute. I've never heard that term before, but maybe it's because I haven't seen a lot of Kate Hudson rom-com movies, but yeah. So anyway, so bringing this all around to Camille. So Camille has a new department chair. It's Dr. Pruitt, played by Whoopi Goldberg, and she's excited that, this is a sister girl. Like, she's thinking, all right, like, I have a chance of still getting my tenureship. And so this kind of like brings new life to her, because we see her at the beginning where she's just like tore up over the possibility of not getting tenureship, but it's kind of like she has a breath of new life because of Dr. Pruitt. So I wanted to ask y'all, like, do you all feel that just because there's a Black woman in a position that you're guaranteed certain like things, or like success or position or anything like that?
Or that Black woman is going to be on your side, or she's going to understand what you're talking about, or no?
I think honestly, this was a case of some more entitlement. Because anytime I have had a Black woman over me or whatever, they are going to hold you even to a higher standard than if you had a white supervisor. At least that has been my experience. And I believe that for her to just feel, and how she even went at her, you know what I mean? Like, that don't be just because this is like Whoopi Goldberg, the evil god, right? So I think it's good that it's being played by her. But this is a woman who has come in and is department head at Columbia, a Black woman, okay? Right. And you think you gonna go up to her, hey, sister girl, dap up, like, you just gonna be late and falling off and telling your whole business. Like, respect the position. Respect the woman's journey. And so I thought that was really good, because, and I think their relationship is good because Camille does need to be checked. And not for nothing, I do believe that this is why Black women need Black women mentors, or people that they can look up to, because all that was good for the white woman, because in her mind, it was validating her to be able to think that she was down, which is why she could go to that Angela Rye or Jamel Hill, whoever it was that was moderating that panel in episode 1, where she was going, that's why she felt she could go there and just say whatever, because she had you to validate that, and she felt like, I'm helping this Black girl. But another Black woman, we done already made it. We ain't looking for no validation, and so she gonna give her exactly what she need. I thought she was completely unprofessional. And I would have been looking at her too, like, if I promote you, what's that going to make me look like? Have you, once again, a nickel looking for a dime? Have you thought about what you look like?
Yeah.
I also think,
no, go ahead. No, I was just going to say that's another perception that's skewed, because Camille thinks just because this is another Black woman that, like, oh, she's supposed to automatically look out for me. And just because I am the favorite professor, or, I've done, all this research or whatever, because I tweet and my tweets get noticed, that I'm supposed to get this position. But Dr. Pruitt definitely humbles her. She's like, with some tweets, like, you're not out there in the field, you're not doing the work, like, you're not really involved in the work. So like you haven't proven yourself to me. And so I think that's definitely a humbling moment, even though she has this new life because she thinks that, okay, this is a Black woman. I am going to get tenured. It's like, no, you still got to work for this. So yeah, her perception was definitely off with all of that dealing with Dr. Pruitt. What were you going to say, Courtney?
No, I was just agreeing with what you both said. My statement was just going to agree with that.
So to round this whole episode out, it's a lot going on. Make sure you watch it. Spoiler alert, we didn't give that in the beginning, but it's a lot we didn't go into. So make sure you watch it. But for you all, is there anything that you think recently, real quick, that you feel like you've had to have some grounding because your perception was deceptive?
Yeah, that happened to me yesterday, actually, in my therapy session, when I was talking to my therapist about someone that I recently met. And she really humbled me in terms of just giving people some grace. And understanding that, not everybody's going to come to the table knowing everything, and you can kind of teach things, even though I feel like there's certain things you can't teach, but or I shouldn't have to. But that was a very humbling experience for her to just remind me about that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I mean, I feel like I've had a lot of those in the past couple of months, in many different ways. So I would just say I've had a few of them. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah, I think I definitely had that last year. I can't think of any recent ones, but I definitely kind of connected with Camille because I was looking for new positions and I went on quite a few interviews, and I definitely felt entitled in a lot of ways to get the job just because of the experience that I had. And yeah, I got humbled when I didn't get those jobs because I went into the interview oh, they know me, they know my work. But that did not translate in the interview. So that was definitely grounding for me. So ladies, I just want to toast to just staying grounded and just knowing who we are. So cheers.
Cheers. Rainbows and sprinkles.
Yes.
Cheers.
So that wraps up Rainbows and Sprinkles. That's right? Oh, Rainbow Sprinkles, episode 3 of Harlem on Amazon Prime. We will catch y'all for episode 4.
Peace.